Oh, we did not compare notes, but you're going to hear some of the same things, because when you think of Grandpa, that's what you think of. I'm Jennifer, Tom's daughter, and Henry's my grandpa. So I was asked to share a few memories, and before I do, I just want to thank you all for coming to celebrate and honor the life and legacy of my grandpa. And I know there's going to be a time for you all if you'd like to share some memories or thoughts in the fellowship hall afterwards. So I encourage you to do that, because I look forward to hearing from all of you how Grandpa impacted your life. So when I think of my grandpa, I think of the pearl-snapped button-down shirt. The image of Grandpa, the slightly crooked cowboy hat, always a little crooked. Dessert after every meal, usually cookies made by my grandma. And you can't think of Grandpa without thinking of Grandma. Like Micaiah said, they were a team. They were married for nearly 75 wonderful years. So there's many memories growing up playing pinochle and skippo, lots of games, horseback riding, checking cattle in the old beaten-up truck with Grandma and Grandpa, going to church with them, taking communion at church with them when we'd come to visit, go stay at their ranch. Lots of memories in the ranch house, devotions every morning. Whenever I'd wake up, Grandma and Grandpa were having devotions, our daily bread particularly. Lots of sporting events, like Micaiah said. Grandma and Grandpa were inseparable. They were at every fair, every event that they could get to, every sporting event, lots of ball games, rodeos, Christmas cantatas, plays. I have memories of vacations at the condominium with them, learning how to play shuffleboard. Easter and Thanksgiving holidays were reserved for Grandma and Grandpa Solbrack. And Grandpa was the Easter bunny. So I have very fun, vivid memories of Easter time at the ranch house. Wonderful meal with all of you, the family. Grandma's creamed corn that Grandpa helped her freeze and put up. And canned peaches and homemade apple juice. But we'd have a great meal, and then Grandma would keep us all entertained in the house, and Grandpa would go out and hide the Easter eggs, which is always fun. Really good memories of that. And youngest to oldest out the door, and then we'd be following Grandpa when there was few Easter eggs left, and you couldn't find any. All the older kids would follow Grandpa around trying to get the ones before Mark got them all. and Grandpa would say, "Oh, I see there's another one." Of course, he'd already seen it and walked way far away, so we didn't know exactly where it was. But lots of memories and holidays with them. When I grew up and got married, we lived in Tennessee, and Grandma and Grandpa came to visit us there. Lots of fun pinochle games and memories when they would come to visit us. And we've lived out of state most of our married lives, so always when we'd come to Washington, we'd visit Grandma and Grandpa and the kids and grandkids. It all was important to see Grandma and Grandpa. Who my grandpa was as a person was a man of character and integrity. He was loyal, he was quiet, humble, and meek. And if you were to ask, like my grandpa's superpower, I would say meekness. I think of the fruits of the Spirit, and meekness is one of them. So the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, meekness, faith, and self-control. And my grandpa exhibited all of those things, and I always like to look up words, so I looked up the word meekness. In the Bible, meekness is not weakness, but strength under control, characterized by a humble, patient, and gentle attitude towards God and others, involving submission to God's will. It's a fruit of the Spirit and a virtue modeled by Jesus, requiring deep trust in God and yielding of one's own will. Grandpa Henry Solbrack. I mean, that was just him. Meekness, very meek man. I learned a lot just by watching Grandpa. As Micaiah said, he is very quiet. But the three things that really stood about his character was, number one, he loved and honored the Lord. Again, those vivid memories of him and Grandpa every morning, never missing Bible study and devotions together that he led, and praying for our family, praying for his whole family, and the legacy that's here today. Number 2, he was so loyal. He loved Grandma, and he loved his family. And number 3, he was a hard worker with a servant's heart. I mean, from the big things all the way to the little things. So the big things of running the ranch and canning and freezing that corn to making quilts and raking the shag carpet after Grandma vacuumed. They worked as a team. They were the best team. That shag carpet. And, carrying the bleacher chairs to all the sporting events, setting him up for Grandma, carrying him back out to the car. He just truly was a loyal servant and just quiet, humble, and meek. And my very last memory, I had the opportunity to see Grandpa just a little over a week before he passed away. I happened to be in Washington, and we had a great visit. My mom and sister and I were there, and my dad had to run errands for Grandpa. And a memory came up on my phone, a picture of Grandma. She was holding up the number 1 in a backpack of pinnacle cards because, of course, Grandma and I won, and she was very proud of that. So we were talking about Grandma and how competitive she was and all of that. And so we were reminiscing about Grandma, and Grandpa just, he kind of folded his hands like he would, and he said, "Anyway, time moves on." And I really didn't think about it. And I was like, yeah, it does, Grandpa, time moves on. So a week and a half later, he passes away. And so I've been pondering on that, on those words of Grandpa, time moves on. It's moving on. Grandpa moved on to heaven. He's with Jesus and reunited with Grandma and many loved ones. And time is moving on for us all. And what we do with our time matters. And I was talking to my sister, it is just surreal. Grandpa's book is closed. There was lots of chapters in his 99 years of life. Lots, turning those pages and those chapters that he wrote. And we all are writing our own story. We're all writing our own chapters. I'm looking at you guys. You guys are making me cry. I'm going to look back down here. And so I just encourage you to think about the book that you're writing for your life and take note from Grandpa's legacy. He's moved on, but his legacy is here right now. So remember the 3 most important things what Grandpa exhibited was love and honor the Lord, love and honor and spend time with your family, and work hard with character and integrity.